Once upon a time, there lived a wealthy farmer named Olumide. He was well known for his vast lands, bountiful harvests, and generous spirit. His two sons, Tunde and Femi, were young and full of potential, but they were also unwise and careless. Although they lived in luxury, enjoying the fruits of their father's hard work, they never had learned to appreciate the value of the land or the sweat and effort that went into maintaining it. Tunde and Femi spent their days in idle play. They would ride their father's horses across the fields, not caring if they trampled the crops. They would waste food at the dining table, never considering the hands that worked to grow and prepare it. Their clothes, always new and fashionable, would be tossed aside without thought when they are tired of them. Olumide watched with growing concern. He knew that if his sons didn't learn the value of hard work, responsibility, and humility, they would lose everything after he was gone. He had tried to talk to them many times, but his words fell on deaf ears. They believed the wealth would always be there, and they didn't need to worry. One night, as Olumide sat by the fire thinking about his sons, an idea formed in his mind. He knew that his words alone would not be enough to teach them, but perhaps an experience would. He decided to teach them a lesson that they would never forget, one that would transform them from carefree boys into responsible young men. The next morning, Tunde and Femi woke up to a shocking sight. The large, comfortable house they had always known was gone. In its place stood a tiny rundown hut with cracked walls and a leaky roof. The lush lands that had stretched for miles now seemed barren and empty. Their fine clothes were gone, replaced by tattered garments, and the grand feast that usually awaited them for breakfast was nowhere to be seen. Instead, there was a simple bowl of porridge, cold and barely enough for the both of them. "What is going on?" Tunde asked, his voice filled with confusion and frustration. "I don't know, but something is terribly wrong," Femi replied, just as bewildered. When they found their father, Olumide looked tired and worn out, as though the wealth and comfort they had always known had disappeared overnight. "We have lost everything," he told them solemnly. "The land is no longer ours. The wealth is gone. We are poor now, and we must adjust to this new life." The brothers were stunned. They couldn't believe it. How could they go from having everything to having nothing? But there was no choice. They had to live in this tiny, broken-down hut and make do with what little they had. At first, Tunde and Femi struggled. They didn't know how to cook, clean, or take care of themselves. They were used to servants doing everything for them. Their stomachs rumbled from hunger. Their clothes were itchy and uncomfortable. And the days felt long and empty without the luxuries they once enjoyed. The first few weeks were filled with complaints, arguments, and frustration. They blamed their father for not doing enough to keep their fortune, and were angry at the situation they found themselves in. But as time passed, something began to change. Tunde, always the more practical of the two, started thinking of ways to improve their situation. "We can't keep living like this," he told Femi one morning as they ate their miaga breakfast. We have to figure out how to survive on our own, he said. Femi, though reluctant at first, agreed. Together, they began to take small steps towards adjusting to their new life. Tunde started learning how to fix things around the hut, patching the leaks in the roof and reinforcing the walls. Femi, who had never so much as boiled water before, started learning how to cook simple meals with the little food they had. They began to plant a small vegetable garden outside their hut, carefully tending to the plants each day in hopes of growing enough food to eat. The brothers worked hard. They woke up early to fetch water from the river, something they had never done before. They chopped firewood for cooking and warmth. Slowly but surely, their once soft hands became calloused from labor, and their bodies, used to leisure, became stronger. For the first time in their lives, Tunde and Femi understood the value of hard work and the satisfaction that came with it. As they worked, they also began to notice something else, a sense of pride. They had started with nothing, but through effort, they were making a life for themselves. The small vegetable garden they had planted began to flourish, providing them with fresh food. They managed to repair their hut, making it comfortable. Though they had little, they appreciated every victory and learned to be grateful for the food they ate and the clothes they wore, no matter how humble. The brothers' relationship with each other blossomed even more. Without the distraction of wealth and luxury, Tunde and Femi grew closer. They worked as a team, relying on one another to get through the hard times while taking care of their aged father. They no longer argued or competed for attention, but instead supported and encouraged each other. They became not just brothers, but true friends. One evening, as they sat around a small fire outside their hut, sharing a simple meal of vegetable from their garden, their father Olumide looked at them both. His eyes twinkled as he had witnessed how much his sons had changed. "Father," Tunde said, "we've been thinking about the past. We now realize how careless and ungrateful we were when we had everything. We are sorry for the way we acted." Femi nodded in agreement. "We took everything for granted, but now we understand the value of hard work and responsibility. And don't worry, Father. We will build with our own hands and regain all we lost." Olumide smiled, his heart swelling with pride. "My sons," he said, "I am glad to hear those words. But there is something you must know. We are not truly poor." Tunde and Femi stared at their father in disbelief. "What do you mean, Father?" Femi asked. Olumide chuckled. "This was all part of a plan to teach you both an important lesson. The wealth, the land, the house, it's all still ours. But I needed you to understand that these things mean nothing without wisdom, hard work, and gratitude." The brothers were speechless. They had believed themselves to be poor, struggling every day to survive, but it had been a test all along, a lesson from their father to shape them into responsible men. "The real riches in life," Olumide continued, "are not gold or land, but the ability to work hard, to take care of yourselves and others, and to be grateful for what you have. You are both now ready to inherit everything I've worked for. Not because it's your birthright, but because you've earned it. Tunde and Femi looked at each other in disbelief. They realized that their father's tough lesson had been the greatest gift he could have ever given them. They had transformed from unwise boys into responsible young men. From that day on, the brothers returned to their father's grand home, changed men. They continued to work hard on their land, to care for the people around them, and to live with humility and gratitude. And when Olumide eventually passed the land and wealth to his sons, he did so with a peaceful heart, knowing they will be wise and just stewards of everything they had been given. The moral of the story is, true wealth is not found in material possessions, but in the value of hard work, responsibility, and gratitude. Luxury and comfort mean nothing if one does not understand the effort it takes to achieve them. And the greatest riches of all are the life skills that allow a person to thrive, no matter their circumstance. This is the end of my story.